The more woke the left becomes, the more awake they ought to be regarding their own. I decided to spend some time this weekend finding a new show to binge watch, and I found this, The Morning Show. It's on Apple TV, and I knew I was going to get some type of leftist progressive slant, knew that going into it, but decided to give it a little view just to see. Of course, the show is the fictional accounting of what it's like in the world of early morning television, like The Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox and Friends, etc., etc. And it's supposed to be a behind the scenes look. It stars Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and Steve Carell. Steve Carell in The Office, fantastic. In this particular send-up, he plays, and some of you I'm sure have seen the series, he plays the anchor of an early morning talk show who is out of a job over sexual harassment, sexual assault, etc., etc. Very much like the Matt Lauer at the Today Show. And of course, at first, members of the cast all feigning, we didn't know. And then over the course of the season, brought to grips with the fact, well, you did know, you should have known, etc., etc., etc. And of course, Reese Witherspoon is supposed to be the conservative libertarian who happens to be a leftist feminist. Okay, whatever. We know we're going to get this from Hollywood. The bottom line is this. As we are presented yet with another woke version of what America ought to be, and certainly nobody is defending the type of treatment that women have endured, but when Hollywood lectures us on this ad nauseum, didn't they do 3 different send-ups regarding what happened with Roger Ailes over at Fox News? We got treated to a TV miniseries, a feature-length movie, and they've done a documentary on it. Okay. But here's the bottom line, and I'm just going to cut right to it. Hey, Hollyweird, these are your people. These are people from the, quote, entertainment business. Now, the morning show drew some parallels, and we're actually covering on the news Harvey Weinstein. Why even the character played by Steve Carell would comment on air. What a creep, what a pig this guy was. And of course, he didn't see himself as that kind of pig. He has interaction with a character played by Martin Short in this series. Martin Short's, I'm not sure who his character is based on. Reminds me a little bit of maybe Woody Allen. And Martin Short and Steve Carell get into this back and forth, and basically Martin Short telling him, we're just boys being boys, and they got to stop this. And I didn't know she was 14. I thought she was 20. And Carell, this mock moral statement of, I'm not a predator like you. The bottom line where I'm going with all this. Hey, Hollywood, fix yourself. This is stuff that happens in your industry. I get tired of turning on award shows and being lectured to about sexual inequality. This is your industry. If there aren't enough women who are directing, writing, producing, if there aren't enough women being nominated, you fix it. It's your industry. What do you want us to do? Why are you lecturing us ad nauseum about it? This is your problem. You guys are really good at preaching to us about what we ought to be doing, and yet you are the actual antithesis, the proverbial example of double standard hypocrisy. While you tell all of us if we don't wear masks, we're killing everybody, you guys turn around and have your Emmy Awards indoors, close quarters, no masking whatsoever, and there you have it as you're lecturing us, but I know You all had taken love potion number 9, so it was okay. But all of the help that was serving you meals, ushering you to your seats, running the TV cameras, picking up the garbage, cleaning up after you slobs when you were done, they all had to be masked because, again, the rules are for thee, not for me. That's your attitude. And so to now create an entire TV series where you are going to lecture us on how men misbehave badly, you do know that other than you love to keep going back to the Roger Ailes thing, the guys on your side outnumber us. Al Franken, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton, Matt Lauer. These guys weren't conservatives. These were your guys.
Now in a guest essay for the New York Times, veteran television journalist Shelley Ross is accusing Chris Cuomo of sexually harassing her when they were both working at ABC. Ross says she was at a party back in 2005 when Chris Cuomo put his hands on her backside and squeezed in front of her husband. She included a copy of an email from Chris Cuomo with the subject line, "Now that I think of it, I am ashamed." It goes on to read, "Though my hearty greeting was a function of being glad to see you, Christian Slater got arrested for a kind of similar act, though born of alleged negative intent. You like my own. And as a husband, I can empathize with not liking to see my wife patted as such. So pass along my apology to your very good and noble husband, and I apologize to you as well for even putting you in such a position. Next time, I will remember the lesson, no matter how happy I am to see you."
Aw, say it ain't so. Really? Chris Cuomo? No. Not the brother of the governor who just had to leave office over this. And this little email where, he basically said, "I'm sorry." So that's the new defense now? As long as you issue some type of half-hearted, "I'm sorry, you can't hold me accountable. I'm not like the real pigs. I'm a pig who said, I'm sorry." Seriously? This guy was actually helping his brother navigate these waters. You really didn't think that there was more going on there than this? Come on. And of course, is CNN going to do anything? No. In fact, the woman says, he didn't just pat me inappropriately, he groped me. And of course, what's going to be done? Nothing. Nothing. And the only reason that there were any type of consequences for Cuomo, the governor, had nothing to do with what he had actually done. It was a deflection. He was the sacrificial lamb to get the media attention off of the fact he had actually killed people, as have other Democratic governors in blue states based on their horrendous policies. And so we needed to get the media attention off of all of that. And since most Americans have very short attention spans and can only grasp the minuscule, simplistic, National Enquirer type headlines, sex was it. People could figure that one out. He got to go. And gone he is. And Cuomo's replacement, have you seen the inane policies that she's coming up with? She's going to turn the state of New York into another full prison camp like Australia is. So, that all said, again, Cuomo, Clinton, these guys are on the left. And we have pointed out ad nauseum what these individuals have been up to, and nothing happened. So I don't need TV series and movies lecturing me on how I ought to be. This is your problem, left. This is your problem, Hollyweird. You fix it. We were trying to point out what kind of a lowlife Elliot Spitzer was, what kind of a lowlife Anthony Weiner was, and it wasn't until it all proverbially hit the fan that it finally got dealt with. That said, last fall, we tried to tell you what was going on with Hunter Biden. We had members of the intel community coming out saying, oh, no, this is Russian propaganda. Here we go again. We don't even really know if that was his laptop. The media would not cover it. They were giving cover to then candidate Joe Biden. They were giving cover to Hunter Biden, and this was just more right-wing propaganda. And then Shazam, Batman, the regular media last week began to say, you know what? That really is his laptop. You know what? There really is some damning stuff on there. You know what? There might have been some quid pro quo going on, that he was actually taking money from the Chinese and doing things for his father. Oh no. Really? Because this was the kind of media coverage we were getting in October of 2020.
Questions and controversy continues today about Hunter Biden, your son's.
There is no controversy about my son.
Dealing
It's
just
all a lie.
questions.
It's a flat lie because the president has nothing else to run on.
And even some conservatives, so-called, or we should say members of the conservative alternative media, who were beginning to dip their sails at the end of the election cycle and basically wanted to try to distance themselves from what they were considering an incendiary campaign by then Donald Trump running for re-election. Tucker Carlson gave Hunter a pass.
But Hunter Biden is a fallen man at this point. And I should also say that I knew Hunter Biden fairly well. We lived near each other in Washington for quite some time. I knew his wife, who was an absolutely outstanding person, a good person. I never thought Hunter Biden was a bad person. I thought he had demons, but in the time I knew him, he kept them mostly under control. At some point, he lost control of those demons, and the world knows that now. He's now humiliated and alone. It's probably too strong to say we feel sorry for Hunter Biden, but the point is, pounding on a man, jumping on, piling on, when he's already down is something that we don't want to be involved in.
You can check out my other videos, my other monologues on the whole Hunter Biden, what happened with Ukraine, what happened with China, the money laundering that he did, or I should say being the cash mule for his father, and the money, the kickback that was given to him, including the whistleblower who was all part of it, that nobody wanted to hear from. And now the media, who will never admit that they covered up for Joe Biden, wants to be able to save face. They want to give a few minutes of headlines to say, well, we covered it, we pointed out what was going on, and now they've killed it again. And anytime something gets a little bit uncomfortable, the White House comes out with more coronavirus directives, make our lives miserable if we don't stop asking questions. And today they completely changed the narrative on vaccination, non-vaccine, and we'll be getting into that in a separate monologue. But I just wanted to point out the obvious. The scumbags, and I'm not saying that there aren't scumbags on the right, but the scumbags on the left, oh, come on. They're winning this thing by the sheer numbers, hands down. Hey, that's it for today's rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell. Click the word all to get notification of my next rant.